Good morning and welcome to Handmade by Julia Quinn. Today I'm showing you this lovely card featuring, again, the Waves of Inspiration stamp set. I've done a couple of videos already using this lovely stamp set on my YouTube channel, and today I'm going to do one for my Facebook, and then I've got another one to share with you on Monday with this group here on Facebook. So my card this time features Oceanfront and Waves of Inspiration together, and it's using our lovely slimline envelopes as the measurements for the starting point. Okay, I've got all my bits and pieces. This is also one of the cards we're making at our class next Thursday as well. Okay, so I've got my pool party, which is just a little bit smaller than the card, and then inside I've got some Whisper White, so pool party and Whisper White, and then I've got a spare piece for my poles, pelican, and my greeting, and some clouds, and this is a bit of adhesive sheet to help my clouds and birds stick easily. Okay, let's begin with the stamping. Now, excuse me, what I have found really good with this stamp set is to use my Stamparatus for stamping this large wave. It works really well. And I've already, I've left myself in a bit of a mess here. Just put my stamp set behind that. I've already stamped the image on my paper, my mini grid paper for the Stamparatus, so that I know where exactly it's going to go. And then, because I know where it's going to go, I can place my cardstock just there, just showing a tiny bit of an edge so that I don't go off the edge. And so then when I stamp it, I'll be able to see exactly where it's going to go. And I'm using Pool Party ink. Oh, no, I'm not. I'm using Pool Party cardstock and Pacific Point ink for my wave. And just push that down. And the beauty of the Stamparatus is that if I haven't inked it up properly, I can come back and give a bit more pressure, because it's such an incredibly detailed, beautiful stamped image. Very gorgeous detailed elements. Okay, so that's my wave done for my front piece. For inside my card, because I want to leave room for writing my greeting to my recipient, I don't want the wave to take up quite so much space. So I'm just going to put my cardstock so that I'm just putting the edge of the bottom, and not too much actually. I'll go off the edge there and just a little bit of my wave there. Okay, so on my white cardstock I'll just have the edge of the wave in the corner, which leaves me a lot more room for my greeting. Okay, look at that. That's spectacular. Absolutely beautiful. Rightio, I'll close up my ink, my Pacific Point, and I'll clean my stamp with the magic of my Simply Chamois. Just give it a good little scrub. Sorry about all the squeaking. Maybe if I pat, it'll be quieter. There we go. All good to go for next time. Alright, pop that aside. And then we can continue with the rest of the stamping. I'll do the inside panel first, I think, and then I'll leave that there for you to look at. Inside panel first. I need a little bit of scrap paper underneath. I'm trying to keep my work area clean. Let's see how long that lasts, Julia. Okay, so for the extra stamping I'm using Oceanfront, which has these great semi-solid distinctive images that you can use, and some rocks and a little bit of greenery and sand detail. I'm going to use this one here, I think, and I can just change the direction that I'm using it and use some crumb cake ink and just start my beach from down here and add to it as I go along. There we go. I can even add a little bit here. There we are. So that's my beach done on the inside piece. On the piece for the front, because I've got a larger area, I've got more wave, I'll just add my beach about there. And I'm going to cover up that little section there with the reeds. And I can even add, you know, a little bit more there. Give it a bit more definition. There we go. Nice and beachy. Basically, I'm just sort of stamping a whole bunch of images to create a scene, which is what the Oceanfront stamp set does to perfection. Alright, the next bit I'm going to stamp with my soft suede is some of the reeds. I don't know how many of these will be covered up by the pelican. I'll just pop another one up there. And then some reeds on the side here to help anchor my pelican, which will then be stamped on the side here of my card inside. There we go, and then we'll add some stamping blends. And then, well, while I've got my pelican in my hand, what did I do? Here it is. I'll stamp my greeting, which is "You are totally awesome," and my pelican on my spare piece here. So I've got to allow a little bit of room for that beautiful die cut frame around the greeting. So I'll pop that one there, and then there's the pelican on the side. Okay. Got a bit of a frog in my throat this morning. I apologise. Okay, let's see what other stamping we've got to go. We will have to stamp that pelican one a bit more in a minute, but I'll just wait till I've cut out my other images here. So seeing I'm going to do the die cutting next, I'll do all of the die cutting all at the same time. Got my little piece of adhesive sheet to stick on the back of the supple shimmer. Just going to use my take your pick tool to peel it off there and pop that on the side. So that means that when I die cut the birds, it'll be so much easier than using glue. And if you know me, you know I'm not a big fan of wet, sticky, gluey things. Okay, so die cutting now. And I'm using my beautiful little mate, a mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, which is on special up until next week. 20% off. Yoo-hoo! And get my dies out from the Magnificent Waves dies. So if I'm going to do my supple shimmer first, I'll use the birds, these lovely little girls, and two clouds. One there and one here. There we go. Okay, pop them in, run them through, cut them out. Alright, so that's that bit done. And then with my white piece, I've got this lovely greeting, "You're totally awesome," which I'll line up there very nicely, and then my pelican. And I'm actually going to do a little bit more fussy cutting on this one, but that'll just cut out my pelican nicely. There we are. All done. Thank you, little Minnie. You can go back over here. You can get out of the way. Let's see what we've got. Got this one. "You're so totally awesome." Pelican. Ready to go. And then with my scrap piece, now that I've got a little bit left over, I'm able to stamp a couple more images just of the poles. So I just want the poles. It doesn't really matter about the other bits and pieces, just the tops of the poles there, to create more of a crowd of poles for the pelican to jump around on the front of the card. And I'll trim them. Doesn't matter about the bottom because they'll be trimmed off the edge of the card. And this one just makes the difference with the finish of the card if these are trimmed quite close. This one's going to be a nice short pair of poles. There we go. And I'm also going to trim around this one as well. Just, it'll make it look better when we put the poles all together on the card. And it's not hard to actually cut around this image. Nice straight lines. Alright, now to finish off these, and the one on the inside, I'm going to use the number 500 of the Skin Tones blends. Just fill them in, not with any particular finesse or anything, but just look how it makes it come to life. Okay, and then this one all over. This one easier to colour straight off the edges, and I'm going, as you can see, right to the very edges to create that total 3D. Because of the amazing stamped image, I don't have to do too much shading or anything on this one. There we go. And the fact that the blend is alcohol means it goes over the stamped image perfectly. Alright, I think we're almost done, ready to put our bits and pieces. So is this one complete for inside? I can pop that inside. I'll just add a couple of, actually, I'll colour my penguin, pelican's beak and feet, and a little bit on the tum-tum with ivory. So the pelican's beak and feet were done with pale pumpkin pie. And then I'll also stamp a couple of birds flying around. Now, first time I made this card, I accidentally stamped a bird on top of the head of the pelican. Looked like he's wearing a hat. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Rightio. I'm going to fix that with my corresponding marker. You never know any different. Alright, while I've got my bird in my hand, I will also, probably should wait to see where I put my bits and pieces, but stamp a couple of birds, maybe another one down low. There we go, on the front of my card. And then my pelican needs a little beak done, and feet, a little bit on the tum-tum, just a bit of shadow. Alright, and we can stick the pelican on with some dimensionals and mini dimensionals for the top. Okay, choose my spot for that one, right on the join. Now I am going to cut off that bit there. There we go. Now, which way do I want these? I think I need the taller ones over here and these little short guys over here. There we are. So, dimensionals. For those ones. There we are. Might put a little mini one down there. Pop you underneath, right beside there. Okay, and then I'll just go on the other side and trim off the edges of my poles. So that all lines up on the bottom. Okay, right, now let's pop our inside stamped, purely stamped and coloured landscape theme. I've had a ton of fun using these gorgeous slimline envelopes and creating cards that fit exactly in them. There we go, inside, ready to write a story. And front of my card. This card actually was inspired by a layout in the mini catalogue featuring the Easter stamp set, and also inspired by another demonstrator. If you read my blog post from Sunday night, you'll see her beautiful, I've got a link to her beautiful project on my blog. Okay, I'm going to pop this right behind Mr. Pelican there, and then I've got my clouds and my birds ready to stick on out of the gorgeous supple shimmer. And I'm just with my Takey Pick tool, just pierce the waxed backing. No sticky fingers. Alright, oh, there we go. And the cloud, same deal. This one's got a bit of adhesive on the back of it. I might pop that down over there. And then this one, I don't think got much adhesive, so I'll peel the backing off that end where it did, and the rest I'll just pop some seal on. And pop that over here. There we go. Our card is complete. There's a lot of stamping in this card, but I love stamping, and I love the tools that we have to create gorgeous stamped images. I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope you'll have a go with this beautiful wave stamp set. And if you live locally, you can make this card next Thursday along with a couple of others. Thanks for joining me. Bye.